Hello and welcome, my friends. This is Karina from KarinaWisdom.com, back with day 46 of the journey. So how am I feeling today? Well, wow. I had a little bit of an exchange with one of the 4 solo ad vendors that I'm testing out currently today. And what I realized, it really emphasizes the importance of testing. Because really, although you did your due diligence to research the solo ad vendor, you look for any negative comments, you look for reviews, you make sure the reviews are from a reputable source. Like, I like getting solo ad vendors from the Warrior Forum. And then I notice who gave the solo ad vendor a review, because sometimes you have some top solo ad vendors who gives reviews because they are also constantly buying traffic to keep their list replenished and fresh. So yeah, it really emphasizes the importance of testing. So the first rule of solo ads is communication. Come on, people. I'm talking to the solo ad vendors. Answer your email. You want my money, right? You want me to buy the clicks, yes? Why aren't you answering my emails? And that was a first red flag with this vendor. And now you might say, Karina, how can you prevent this? And that's the trouble. You can't really prevent it. You're just going to have to test and figure it out. And yeah, I realized that getting 100 clicks from this guy, I probably won't buy from him again. Just for the pure fact of very poor communication. I mean, I sent like 4 emails. I left messages on Skype. I sent direct messages through the Warrior Forum and got zilch, like cricket. Even crickets were louder than the response I got from this guy. And it wasn't until I filed a claim with PayPal and requested a full refund, detailing how many times that I communicated with him with lack of response in my claim on PayPal. That was when all of a sudden he popped out of the woodwork and said, why did you contact PayPal? So, my friends, bottom line, if you're going to be doing solo ad traffic, the best thing is to pay through PayPal. If you have the option to pay through PayPal, do it, because it's easier to get a refund through PayPal if they didn't provide the service. I think you have like up to 30 days to make a claim. If you pay directly through their shopping cart with your credit card, then it might be a little bit more difficult to get a refund. So be very wary if the payment cannot be processed through PayPal. That's like my first, very wary. Unless you know the solo ad vendor and know that they will deliver, then I really wouldn't process a transaction with them unless it's through PayPal. So let's call my Mr. Solo Ad vendor number 1. He sent me 117 clicks of traffic, of which I got 36 opt-ins. And I thought it should have been a little bit more opt-ins because my conversion rate was 38% based on lead pages. Now, I realized that I got like 10 bounced emails, so yeah, that's why I lost some of the opt-ins. Now, his traffic, the traffic he gave me, actually had the worst performance. The worst performance of all the vendors that I tested. I had a 2.6% open rate. 2.6. You might be wondering, why are you so upset about 2.6% open rate? All right, let me put it this way, okay? I had a higher percentage open rate with less opt-ins from another vendor, okay? And then when I say higher percentage, I mean it was like 17, 18% with less persons from another vendor. Here's the next weird thing. None of his traffic opened my emails after day 3. I mean, possible you send 10, 12 emails and not one of them get opened? Not one? Yes, that's a 2.6% open rate. Maybe I'm weird. I mentioned it to him and he's like, well, it just depends on what you offer them and if you build relationship. I know about the building relationship things and all of that. Actually, these emails that I'm sending are tested and proven to give a 30% open rate. And that's how you need to test solo ad traffic, because you need to make sure the traffic that you get from the vendor is responsive to your offer. And that's why I'm sharing this information with you, because obviously his traffic is not responsive to my offer. So I'll definitely continue to monitor his traffic and see what kind of response I'm going to get before I make a final conclusion. Because remember, if people are not opening your emails, I mean, clicking on the link is another step, right? The first step, the very, very first step is for them to open the emails. If they are not inclined to open the emails, then what else can you do? You're pretty much lost. So you need to ensure that you're getting traffic from a vendor that will open your emails. So I said to him, I'm like, what kind of offer are you giving the people that you've sent to me? Because I'm very curious how you got them to even open the email that you sent to them with my offer for 100 clicks. How did you get them to open the email? Honestly, because they're not opening mine and I don't get it. But anyway, that's another thing, because there's so many variables when it comes to solo ads and email marketing, and I'm just figuring all of that out right now. So as I mentioned before, the most important thing is for them to open the emails, and after they've opened the email, then you need to build a relationship with them. And after you've built a relationship, then you have the opportunity to exchange value for money. Now, at first, I was focused on the open rate of traffic because I've been monitoring the open rate of traffic for all 4 vendors. Then I dug deeper. So I had like 2 vendors that I was really, really liking their open rates. It was at about 20%, 17%. But then I noticed something. When I clicked into those vendors, one of them gave me people opening my emails every day. I was like, okay, that's cool. And another one, they were very sporadic in when they opened my emails. So you know that that's going to be a factor on whether or not I buy from that vendor again, because I want people to be checking out my emails every day. So as I mentioned before, I will be monitoring, I'll be tweaking, I will be testing the list and see how responsive they are. So today's message is actually based on the following quote by Ken Blanchard, and it goes, "There's a difference between interest and commitment. When you are interested in doing something, you do it only when it's convenient. When you're committed to something, you accept no excuses, only results." So that leads me to a question for you guys today to ask yourself. Are you treating your online business like an interest or a commitment? Because the only way you can win is when you make it a 100% commitment. When you're willing to do whatever it takes, no matter what. And that's the bottom line. And one of the ways you can figure out whether or not this is an interest or a commitment is that this is a very easy litmus test. When you get up during the day or get up in the morning, say you need to get things done for your online business, do you fight every day with yourself whether or not you stick to your commitments or you remain disciplined or you carry out action plans? Because if you're fighting every day, then it's an interest. It's not a commitment. And this ties back to an earlier message where I said you need to know your why. You need to know your why you're doing this. And your why needs to be so strong that you cannot stay in bed sleeping, because you have to go out there and get it done. So it's really something to think about, whether you're going about this like an interest or like a commitment. And one of the easiest ways to make this act of being committed to your online business so much easier is to take action every day regardless. As I mentioned in the episode yesterday, that day 45, that I've taken action every single day with my DMO, which means that it's a habit. It's a part of me. It's something that I think about every day. It's just like brushing my teeth. I cannot ignore it. It has to be done. And that is the secret weapons, my friend. Well, thank you again for tuning in to this video. Remember to click like on this video below, and while you're down there, also click subscribe to the channel so that you can get the latest video as soon as it's published. In the description below, you'll find a link to my website, and it will take you directly to day 46 of the journey. You'll see a detailed date sheet, which is a listing of exactly what I completed today to move me forward towards my goal in my business. Well, my friends, thank you again for tuning in to this video. This is Karina from KarinaWisdom.com signing off. Boom.